Hello, welcome to day two. I was going to say day Q. Day two of this core series, and this class will be progressing what we've done in the first one. So starting in the same way on our back, on our forearms, on our hands, on the side, and then finishing on the belly. So we get the full 360 scenario. Once again, quality. Pay attention to the details, put your mind in the muscle that you're using so that you can build a really solid foundational core. Start on our back. I like to pretend I am Dracula going into his coffin here for a bit of Halloween fun. Lower down, you can feel it. You feel that you're using your core to do that. Lower down, lower down. We're just gonna put our hands beside, lift up. Or just start nice and simple. Straighten the legs, lower the feet. Straighten the legs. Get a little hamstring stretch. If your hamstrings are tight and your legs do not want to come high, you can keep them farther back. And you can always keep your knees bent as well. See how well, to the best of your ability, see if you can bring them straight up like the letter L. All right, we'll add on. So you can bring your hands facing down. Try to bring your knees into your chest. So you'll lift your butt up and then send your feet down. Lift your butt up, send your feet down. You can make this position harder by trying to keep your heels as close as you can to your butt. So if you're in like a tight little cannonball, I don't really like the really intense version actually. Just lifting the knees towards the face, lifting the butt, lowering it down. And you'll notice that as you lower your feet down, it's working the lower region. You might also feel this a little bit in the low back as well. Let's come back to the legs up into the air. We'll keep the arms down beside. You can even sit onto the hands if that's going to feel better. We'll start with one leg at a time. One leg goes down. And the other side. And like we did in the first video, you can make your legs one leg, which really amplifies this. So when you go down, there might be that sensation for the back to overly arch, which means you're not using your core anymore. You want to tuck your tailbone, really use the front of your abs here. And then when it's too hard, you can pull your knees into your chest, re-extend it up towards the ceiling, lower. So only go to the point where you have control. Once you lose control, you're not really doing any good work. Knees come to chest, lift it back up. If you're already past this initial stage, you can try lowering your heels to a hover. You want to feel the work in the front, not the back. And then if you want to amplify it even more, rather than bending your knees, you can go straight all the way back up. The slower you move, the more effective it's going to be. And then you can change the shape of your arms as well. You can take your arms out wider so you don't have the support underneath your butt. You can take your arms overhead, which I think makes it even more hard. And you can pause, like halfway or third of the way. Pause again. You might feel your quads turn on. There might be some quivering like there is with me, which doesn't mean that it's too hard. It just means that your body's learning some patterns. I like to think of this motion here as when you're pouring oil from one bottle into another bottle and you don't want it to spill everywhere. You want oh, it's really hard to talk like that. You want a sense of control in what you're doing, which is exactly what we're doing here, controlling the body. And why do we want to do that? So that we have power over our movements in our daily life. So you can just chuck the trash into the bin as if it was nothing. You haven't heaved it up and over. All right, to come out, let's go the same way we came in, like Frankenstein getting up out of his strange table. Right about here, it gets a bit tricky. Push, 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 push. Yes, come all the way up. Let's just do a little reverse table to stretch that out. You take the feet to the floor, lift up, pop up onto your butt onto your heels. Try to bring your knees close towards the floor. And then we're going to transition this to the arms. We're going to start in plank. Same checklist as yesterday. Tuck, round, push forward to the best of your ability. Put all the weight into your inner hands, because what happens in plank poses, we tend towards dumping into the outer hands, and we have these little cups here underneath the hands, and that just puts a lot of pressure on the outer wrist, can lead to more injury. So push into the index finger knuckles mainly, and then put all the weight there. You can even imagine you're drawing your hands towards each other, which will turn on your chest muscles a bit. And from here, we're going to lower and lift into forearm plank. So coming down onto one forearm, the other forearm. The aim of the game here is to not sway and move and whatever from side to side, like this. So keep your body firm like a board. Pretend you're balancing like a plank of wood over top of you, and you don't want to drop it. So sometimes it's a little bit easier to make your feet a bit wider so that you can stabilize. Come down onto one forearm to the other. Lift, lift. Do a couple of times where you're starting with left side first and then go to the right side. So the hips are going to want to sway. Try to resist the urge. Keep it firm. Lift, lift. Lower, lower. Lift, lift. Commando style. And I noticed actually in my video yesterday, as I was telling you to do leg lifts, my butt was like way up here. So let's do a couple leg lifts. With your butt, with your hips is a little bit lower, in that sweet spot between too saggy and too high. Hard, even experienced practitioner over many, many years still accidentally goes into bad form. Anyway, get off the arms for a bit, give them a little shake, a roll, a stretch, whatever you need. Let's go tricep stretch too. That feels good. The other way, because we're gonna come back onto the hands, that's why. Let's get a little pressure off. It smells like glorious spring out here. Hands down, you know where to put the weight into your hands. You know what your form's meant to be like. We're gonna add it up by bringing one knee in, the other knee in for mountain climbers. Plank is really tricky. Your arms don't have the strength to do that. You can do the same thing, kind of like the one we did yesterday with the extension, but just bringing the knee to the chest. All right. See how you go with doing it in plank pose though. So you can go slow, slow, or pick up the pace. The weight, the momentum is going forward. You're trying to keep your hips low rather than lifting up into like a down dog and just like a march. Keep low. Momentum going forward. Try to tuck into a little ball. Even bring your knee through your arms. And then there's some variations on the mountain climber. taking the knee out to the side, which will squish into this section of the body, and then also crossing under the body, knee to the opposite arm, which we will do now. Same thing, you can do it with your knees down. I'm gonna pick mine up. Look at your back knee. Try to tap as high up towards your elbow as you can, or your shoulder. You should already feel that into the side body. Change sides. Keep both arms straight. One might want to like bend and sag and ugh. Arms straight, legs out to side. You can pick up the pace. But I like to go slow so I can feel all of the feels. My arms are sore today. A little break is necessary. But we're gonna do one more thing in the arms, and that's the cross body mountain climbers. So tapping knee to opposite elbow. But when you bring your knee in, you wanna get it high rather than just like bring it forward. Bring it forward and lift and high and round and scoop. Last one here. You got this. Knee, opposite elbow. Cross it under. Try to actually touch your elbow or above the elbow. You can go faster. People say, let's salsa, which I like in this, because it feels like you're dancing now. It's a really hard dance. And that obviously gets in here and up here. Let's stretch it out. So all this rounding, let's stretch it out. Clasp the hands behind, push your knuckles down towards the ground, lift, 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 lift. Finding a nice little back bend there. Or let's do side body. We're gonna start in Vashisthasana, side plank, but with this one knee down. I want you to come onto your fingertips here, so you're a little bit higher. Take the other arm up and over. This is going to work a lot of the transverse abdominals, abdominis, however you say it. So it's the parts of the core that wrap around. Gonna stay like this, nice long line of energy through the side body. Pick up the bottom hand, reach it forward, lower it down. Sometimes it's nice to open up through the chest. Try it again. Like you're passing someone a ball and you're really reaching it forwards. Whew. Let's go a couple more times aside. Hand down, top arm up. So now come into an actual side plank, not a forearm, side plank. By pushing the bottom hand down, really important here to have the hands splaying out like you're opening a lid. And this shoulder is rolling open rather than shutting here like that. So roll it open, push into that index finger mound. That's where you want the weight. You want your hand underneath your shoulder or a little bit farther forward, which is a bit nicer on the wrist. Once you got that all set up, your back foot's pushing down, and then you're gonna hoist the bottom knee up towards the chest. You can take the top arm up, look up, lower it down. So let's kind of like windscreen wiper that. Lift up, lower down. Lift up, lower down. And we're gonna turn this into like a sewing machine. So we're gonna push one leg out, bring it in and behind. If you wanna spice it up even more, you can try to bring your knee up towards your tricep in between stitches. You can tell I have way too much fun doing core work. Frankenstein and sewing, balls.
All right. One more. Get it. Lower down. Whoo, go all the way to the other side. Just gonna cartwheel up and over here. Setup's really important. You wanna see where your placement, the placement of your body is in space. So you don't just enter a position without paying attention to all the details. So you're set it up basically for your own safety. Top arm goes up and over. Let's pop up onto the fingertips. I think a bird just touched me. What? The bottom hand will lift up. That was incredible. And then lift and reach. Lower. Lift, reach, expand or extend, lower. So if going out to the side's a bit too tricky, because it is, you can come all the way up, which I did not mention on the other side. My bad. All the way up. As you can tell, it's hard to talk. And like I said, not really good at counting, so I'm not sure if I even make the sides even. But you know, you can always pause and work it a little bit more if you want to. It's your choice. Bottom hand down, top arm up, push the back foot down, roll the bottom shoulder open. Imagine your shoulder blade is like sliding down your back and towards your spine. So you're kind of pushing inwards and outwards at the same time. So in and push, if that makes any sense. Knee lifts up. Maybe gaze lifts up. You really have to stabilize through that bottom shoulder here. And then we're gonna transition this into a sewing machine. So can you bring the foot in front? Your hips are gonna get nice and low. Bring it back in, take it behind. I like to turn my back toes out a little bit to do that rather than straight forward. That'll just help with moving back and forward. And then you can amp it up by attempting to bring the knee up towards the arm. Little sewing machine here. If you're done, you can just chill and then maybe squeeze in a couple more if you've got the control. If your body loses it, it's like, no, I'm done. You gotta respect that. You gotta listen to it. Try again later. That's hard. That part of the lesson, listening to your body, not always easy, but I'm done that. Or we're gonna continue into the side body with some twist, but we're gonna add in a stand. So find yourself in a squat position. When I ease into squat, you can come side to side, even open one knee out, open the other, so you can get most of the weight into your heels. And I'm gonna do it from the side. So if your butt doesn't come that low, just do a high squat, so that's fine. And then we'll come all the way up to standing. All right, so you can squeeze your butt at the top. So feet nice and wide, toes a little bit turned out, lower down, hands to the heart, stand up. Let's lift one knee up, find the balance, squat down, lift the other knee up. You can take your arms out, find the balance. Let's go side to side, just to get into the movement pattern first, and then we'll add in a twist. Let's take the hands behind the head and then twist opposite knee, opposite elbow. Squat. Weight is in the heels when you squat, and then you're pushing strong using your butt. This one's kind of better to actually go a bit faster than to do that one slow. You can go left, down, and really squeeze. You can look behind you. Imagine you're trying to get your knee to your shoulder rather than to your elbow. It's not gonna touch, but just, hiya. All right, That's just a little thing there. We're gonna go all the way down onto our stomachs. Try a couple of other things. So lay down, give the hips a little wiggle. You'll take your forehead down, and then we're just gonna lift the legs, which is kind of hard. So bring your hands beside you. It's actually really hard to talk like that, but I'll demonstrate once. Hands down beside, forehead down, legs will lift up. So you can push your hands into the mat and even like slide them backwards to get the legs up. And then lower. Lift and lower. I'm really conscious that I'm not breathing heavy into this microphone, so I'm gonna lift my head, but you keep your forehead down. When you lift the legs up, let's take them out wide, squeeze them together. What? How is that part of the core? Wide together, because it's all connected. You still are using muscles on the back side of your body that help with your posture. Bringing awareness to all aspects of your body helps with your core. So you know where your limbs are moving in space and from which point they're moving from. All right, let's bring the hands underneath the head. Give the hips a little wiggle. Bend the knees here. Similar to before, that locust position that we did yesterday, but this time with the knees bent, which amplifies it a bit. Let's lift up, take the arms back. Imagine you're trying to touch your knees and then lift your knees. You can bring your heels together, your toes are wide like a frog, and then reach, and lower down. Lower everything. Try it again. Lift, lift. Maybe add on skydiving. Elbows bend. You've seen like positions in the air like woo. Let's reach forward, reach back. Holy hell. Lower. Lift, lift. Skydive. Get as high as you can. Get your heels really high. Extend out super long. And then when you relax, you can just totally let go. And that is the beauty of creating tension in the body, so that you hug in, you contract, you create this tension, you build strength, and then your ability to relax is better after that. That is all for today. Thank you for joining me.